Hello and welcome back to the table. You have found Finding a Torio weekly TTRPG podcast, where a whole bunch of friends get together and we discuss tabletop role-playing games. You're back for season 2. You're here with me, Malcolm. I am in new studio headquarters. There's lots of moving going on. We are without Tori. We are without Katie today, as schedules have not aligned. So I've taken the opportunity to bug Jess on a Sunday.
Hello,
Jess. Thank you so much. First of all, the warrior rode straight across the battlefield for the podcast today. I think that I reached Jess this morning or early afternoon in a posted up, comfortable Sunday position, and put out the idea of maybe having a conversation about games.
Yeah, I had been planning on playing video games in my pajamas most of today, but the opportunity to, talk about TTRPGs with a good friend was too good to pass up.
I like the fact that I rank at least a little bit above PJs in video games. But no, thank you for short notice coming in. But I kind of thought it would give us an opportunity to have a conversation about something that I'm just kind of a bit fascinated by. And this debuted at ThursCon 25, correct?
Yeah, actually. I'd been talking about it for a while.
It had been in the works, and I enjoyed playing it so much. And I missed the last 1 or 2 sessions of it as a player. But we've got to talk about this Japan in space game that you're putting on. It's become an absolute phenomenon. It's with our gaming group, and I'm so glad. It's like the forever GM to just see the players salivating for like another game. I'm just like, wow, that's another week off. but we're having fun with it, and I was hoping that we could get you to kind of in the vein of people that want to do this, that want to take genres, bits of history, places, and things, and put them into their game and kind of reskin role-playing games that we're used to playing and that are based off of games that we know, and just how that's working for you. I know that you have another table that you GM a 5e campaign for. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and that's going on a couple of years now, or
that's actually kind of wrapping up at the moment.
Okay.
Just schedules were not aligning between their schedules aligned with each other, but not with mine. And since basically that group was my sister and her friends, my sister's the only one who really knew me.
Gotcha.
They just needed a GM.
Sure.
Because they wanted to play.
Oh, the tale as old as time. Yes.
And my sister decided that, you know what might actually be a better solution? For her to figure out how to GM. So
yes,
she's
absolutely.
planning on GMing. So I'm going to transition over to her so she can be the GM. Because now that she's played, I started GMing for them not too long after I started playing. So you don't have to be a super experienced player to GM.
You do not. And I think that's neat, because that's how baby GMs are often born, is a group of players are like, okay, we need somebody to run this game, and we have to go on their schedule because none of us can run the game. It's that necessity that just kind of breeds the next generation of GMs. That's
right?
very cool.
And I'm really excited for her because she's going to be so good at it.
The way that you describe her as a player leads me to believe that she's going to have a heyday running a game. Just an absolute blast.
She came up with some of the coolest shit as a player.
That imagination.
Oh yeah, she's going to be an amazing GM. So I'm actually tempted to hop in as a player whenever I can, just to see what she comes up with. That would be amazing.
Very, very cool. So I don't want to press us on it, but I'd like to, for our listeners, kind of get to this idea of where you went and got inspiration. I remember, and still do, the inspirations that go into a Tori and some of the Heroes of the Crossroads stuff that we do. But I think what you brought out of, which was a pretty long planning period to get this off the ground, is unique, and it's going to be a very rich world. And the deeper thing for me is how your players have responded to this game. You have people just texting and wanting more, and every time that I talk to somebody, it's recreating another story from in-game where they're just like, I can't believe you missed this. So here's what's going on. So it's got my interest because of how well it's going, but I kind of wanted to start at the beginning with we talk a lot about where you get inspirations, and it's almost, if you know Jess for 4 minutes of your life, can go, well, duh. Like Japan in space, and it kind of takes those two things that you really are known for loving and being enriched by as interests and melds them. So talk a little bit about that. How did you get to the Japan in space concept?
Well, I mean, it started with Star Wars. I mean, as most things for me do. I mean, I've been a lifelong Star Wars. Well, I guess technically not lifelong. I watched them for the first time when I was 5. So almost lifelong fan. And okay, I don't want to do Star Wars because there are actually Star Wars TTRPGs.
Right.
So if I'm going to run a D&D 5e campaign, I do want it to be kind of more mine.
Right.
And, but where did Star Wars come from?
I actually have that. You looked at my notes before we started. Where did Star Wars come from?
Star Wars came from George Lucas watching old like Kurosawa movies.
The Hidden Empire by Akira Kurosawa.
The Hidden Fortress.
Hidden Fortress.
Yes.
Damn it. See how easy it is? Good job, George.
So for the most part in Star Wars, you can't really feel the Japan as much unless you really know what you're looking for. Obviously the Jedi costumes are pretty samurai looking, but
Vader helmets and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But yes,
So,
it doesn't strike you off the gate as overtly influenced by.
Yeah. Until you watch something like Ahsoka, which went very much down the this is Japan influenced. And because she even used samurai sword techniques instead of her usual. If you've seen the cartoons, she's got dual wielding. She wasn't using that.
No.
She did this is a bokken, this is a katana kind of style.
In the garden fight, it was very.
And if you've seen The Mandalorian,
I have.
I can name which samurai movie a lot of those episodes came from.
They just, if it was not a Western, it was a samurai movie that they were just
the whole
pulling
thing
from.
is based off of the whole Mandalorian premise is based off of Lone Wolf and Cub,
Right.
A samurai who basically ends up with a baby and wanders around with it, and goes on adventures, etc. So yeah, there is a tie to basically old samurai movies,
Right.
So it's okay, I don't necessarily want to do that. So it's okay. But it does come from Japanese history. So what's my favorite period in Japanese history?
That's what I wanted to talk to. It's not just that it's Japan, because you have such a rich and varied culture of history throughout. Where did you hone in on? What era did you?
The Bakumatsu.
Okay, and
so
educate us, lay at the table, and then tell me why. What above all others for that time?
The Bakumatsu is it's the last decade-ish of the shogunate that had ruled Japan since the 1600s. The Tokugawa had, basically there was a long peace because they unified Japan and
yes.
kind of. Well, I'm not saying that there was no conflict, but
there
wasn't the warring states like
right,
it was before.
Right.
And Japan was pretty closed off during that time, not entirely, but mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And it, compared to other periods of Japanese history, it kind of felt more stagnant. Not that it actually was, but just kind of felt that way. At least the Tokugawa tried to keep it
right.
More
outside influences were not needed, and because of that, by dint of that, you have less cultural expansion and growth as you see going on around them.
It's not that it wasn't happening. Obviously everybody, everything changes, but around the 1850s, 1860s hits,
mm-hmm.
and the Americans decide, no, Japan is going to trade with us.
Mm-hmm.
So they send a bunch of warships over with, giant guns.
Which is exactly
pointed towards Tokyo Bay, and we're like, so we want to trade.
The negotiations were brief, master.
Yeah. So this kicked off because part of the job of the shogun was to repel barbarians, get rid of the outsiders.
Right.
And the outsiders were coming in and they weren't going away. So it kicked off a lot of very, very interesting political stuff going on.
And then just this rapid expansion of technology and introductions of new things to those people for the first time.
Rapid westernization, for sure.
I mean, immediate almost. Yeah, where there was nothing, it was everywhere then.
I mean, they definitely had some prior, like stuff that had come in prior to the getting closed off. And like there was absolutely trade with the West going on.
Just not sanctioned, yeah.
Well, no, it was sanctioned.
Oh, was it?
Nagasaki, there was Dejima Island, where they would trade with the Dutch.
Okay, yeah, and I heard about the island, but I did not know that was official state.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
that's just like the only spot where you're allowed was that Dejima Island. But yeah, like they would trade with the Dutch. And so like, they did have stuff coming in. It was just very controlled by the shogunate.
So what we found was the era, and
Yes.
you chose this. No, that's okay. It's
You can
my
tell I
job.
like this.
It's my job, and I knew the risks. I knew the risks when we did this.
Yes. You start me on a topic I like, I will info dump about it.
We're in the sinking fields already, but we're safe. What I kind of wanted to touch on from that is, because it's easy to say, okay, so the Japan in Space was done by Star Wars, but I agree with you. I don't think that they represented that as much as people want to perhaps lend to. And I kind of wanted to see maybe one or two definite elements of that period and of that culture and of that time that you want to show up there, because it almost feels like just a treasure basket you can reach into and put different scenarios, different hooks, and different interactions with.
Yeah, so this is why I wanted the Bakumatsu, because there's the let's stick with the traditional stuff element. There's the let's immediately modernize element. There's multiple factions, multiple different interests, multiple this is the right way to do this. There are factions who hate both the existing government and each other that somehow get convinced to work together. There's a war that happens, more than one, I think, and then there are outsiders coming in and trying to force treaties, and it's like it's kind of a mess, and then they kind of resolve it by putting the emperor back in charge.
Right, just to have an emperor back in
it's
charge.
like the Meiji Restoration,
Yes.
And it's kind of like a calm before the whole, imperialism thing that happens later. But
I like that element in almost any role-playing game setting, anything. I like factional intrigue. I love the idea of power shifting because somebody got a crate of something for their army that the other one doesn't have, and now all of a sudden your numbers with blades are tad bit less relevant when I'm hurling balls of lead across and that whole, there was the honor of the samurai that said we don't pick up the fire sticks and we don't do that. And then you had people that wanted to retain power that knew we better get good with cannons because cannons are going to win this thing.
yeah, it's like they had Gatling guns there. I mean, it's
yeah.
like The Last Samurai was not the most historically accurate thing in the world, but it wasn't wrong about some of the stuff.
Right.
It did represent some stuff decently well.
So those are some of the elements that you want to bring into the game and kind of highlight in the background, and that just gives you a fertile field of
you described
adventure.
it accurately. It's a treasure basket.
Right.
Like I can pick and choose whatever I want from that period. I mean, heck, I can pick and choose from any period if I want, but that's the one I'm focusing on for this particular one, just to keep it kind of consistent of the same part of the treasure basket, I guess. But then there's also like all of Japanese mythology to work from, because it is still D&D. There's magical shit. There's monsters. Japanese mythology has a rich just a rich number of demons and monsters. I mean, there's a giant fire-breathing chicken. There's more than one type of toilet ghost. There's a lot.
So you've got a lot to pick from. You've got your own adversaries monster manual there that you can go with. When you're putting this together, and I think that we all kind of do some things similarly, but where are you drawing from specifically? Are you just using your knowledge of that time and that place? Are you going to any media at all? Are you turning Ahsoka on? Are you doing anything that kind of feeds the process? Or this is something you've kind of had in the background brewing long enough that you've got it and you're ready to go?
So in college, I was a history major, and I took a lot of Japanese history classes. So a lot of this actually is just prior knowledge.
Stuff that you've got at your fingertips that can populate this world.
I mean, I do research to double check myself because that was years ago, just to like make sure I'm getting it. It's like, okay. Because obviously it's a my D&D campaign is inspired by. I do not need to follow it exactly. It's just such a rich place to use as inspiration.
Right.
But I do want to make sure that I'm like, okay, what of this do I actually want? What do I not? And I do read up on it again before I create the next thing. But there's just also a large amount of very interesting and very different from what, so like at least one of the members of our table does have a fairly large amount of knowledge about all things Japanese. But most of the others don't necessarily.
Right. And at least thus far, that has not detracted from their experience. It has not made the game seem foreign to them or unreachable. But yeah, I bet you it would be cool to have a little bit or do a little bit of homework to say, I am going to send you the Fire Chicken God dossier.
It's called the Basan.
And there you go. You've got
it's huge and it breathes fire and it's a chicken.
And you've got Basan homework, and then people can come back and know a little bit more and be able to interact with the world well. I kind of want to get into, maybe after a break, what you've seen, the feedback that you've gotten from the table. Maybe not saying things, but when you're running the game, as we all do, kind of peek up from time to time over the DM screen and just kind of get a feeling for what's going on and where you've been surprised pleasantly or otherwise with this world, and are they taking care of your Japan in space? You know what I mean? Because that's always the thing, is I don't want to open up a Toria to a bunch of people that are It's interesting to see what's looking back at you while you're running game, and I want to get into that after a little break here on Finding a Toria.
Mm-hmm.
When you sit down at the table, open the books, and spill out the dice, you're looking for an epic adventure. Tabletop role-playing is more popular than ever, and every day new players join our great hobby. My name is Steve Kellums, and I'm the host of the Epic Adventure Podcast. I'm just a fan with a radio voice, but joining me on this quest will be Mike Howlett, the co-founder of Oddfish Games, a great independent game company, and Christina Stiso, a PhD student studying game-based learning. Together, we will discuss all things tabletop gaming, from character creation to world building to setting and pacing. We will give you tips and tricks to make your games, well, epic. Like and subscribe to the Epic Adventure Podcast today.
This episode of Finding a Toria is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. The Finding a Toria podcast is looking for guests for our upcoming episodes. Are you or someone you know passionate about the TTRPG community and have a story to share? If so, contact us on our socials or reach out at wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. And now back to your program. And we're back from the break on Finding a Toria. A fantastic conversation today as we break into Jess's homebrew world of Japan in space and maybe get some tips, tricks, and insights. But I'm just more in for the stories and where this has come from, where this is going. The group that we game with, a majority of them I gamed with for a long time. And if any one thing was true running a game for those humans, especially in the early years, was you need lots and lots of things for them to kill. And combat was combat made up for our lack of RP skills as young people. And they've grown and changed over time. But from my understanding, and I've missed a couple sessions, there's just some fantastic non-damage rolling RP going on at the table, and I was hoping you could talk to us a little bit about how that's come together.
We've had 2 sessions thus far, and they have not killed a single thing. Even the giant monster, which I do realize now, it was based on the giant squid, so I gave them a tentacle monster. God,
probably not with that group. Yeah,
that's not what I did not connect the dots on that one until just now. That was 2 sessions ago.
You're asking for trouble.
God, no one else connected it either because there was not a lot of giggling about that at the time. Anyway, yeah, they haven't killed anything. Even the giant squid monster, it left to go back to its lair, like
So
after they injured it sufficiently.
I can tell you that there would have been mutiny on the bow if I was running the table in the 90s. Like two sessions and we aren't just soaked in blood and buried in gold. There would have been general revolt. So the fact that that's happening and they are loving every minute of it means that you have to have some really incredible, I would say, imagination, narrative, and chances for RP at the table, because it can't just be you telling them that there's another door and there's another door. Like, they've got to get into some stuff. Tell me what you're seeing from the table in this world where murder's now optional for some damn reason.
Well, I think part of it is just like the richness of where I'm able to draw inspiration from, because it isn't just my knowledge of Japanese history, which I mean, obviously is, I studied it, but I'm no expert. I did also live there for 2 years. So there's just a lot of stuff I ran across while I was there that I can draw inspiration from too.
You can flesh that world out more richly due to your experience and not only studying but dwelling in the place that you're talking about.
Yeah. So I actually had, like, I've played with these people for years now, and I know that I'm the newcomer to the group.
Yeah, but you've played with this group of people for years now.
And like, I have a bard that I've been complaining that I don't get to do any of the bard shit for because they just want to kill everything. So I actually set it up so that they could kill everything, and then they just decided not to.
Which I think needs to be studied by some sort of psychological professional, but no, and it's the truth that the bard, you had one choice. You could throw a concert during the murders or after the murders, and that was kind of limiting, and that's why it's so cool to see them doing other stuff. What have you presented to them? And you and I talked a little bit about this before we recorded. What sort of scenarios and what sort of settings are giving them the permission not to hack, slash, and blast everything in the room? Where are they coming to these different gaming decisions?
I think part of it is just part of it is that they know me. They know I've been complaining about the murder hoboing. Like, I mean, I don't mind combat, but like, I'm a story person. Like, I'm a storyteller. Like, that's where I thrive. Like, they know that. So
if there's murder somewhere in the story, great, but that's not the name of the story.
Right. Like, for me, if you're going to kill something, it's got to be purposeful in the story. Like, it's got to drive the story forward in some way. And just randomly killing all the guards doesn't do that.
It doesn't. It would be considered very lazy writing.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So, like, I think part of it is that they know me.
Right.
So they know that my personal preference, and like they might act, so they know that because my personal preference is for any murder hoboing actually having a purpose, that I think they all just expect there to be
more opportunity,
a better option
to do,
if they don't.
We're not sure it's the better option, okay?
Well, no. Like,
no, I'm just joking.
In my
but yes,
world,
yes.
there's a better option if they don't kill that guard.
You are going to be rewarded as a player at the table by knowing your GM's preferences for story setting and conditions and things of that nature. And I think that, yes, where there was ample rewards at my table for, having to step out of the puddle of blood after every damn encounter, it's a different world. How do you think the players are doing so far, and it's only a couple sessions in, with integrating the Japan theme into their characters and role play? Has there been things that you see where they're grabbing on to that, or are you seeing characters that would usually just be in a different setting just now in that Japan in space? Are you getting any buy-in to the Japan aspect of it yet from player character actions?
And I think this comes from the fact that like only one of them really knows that much about Japan.
Right.
So not really, that the characters could be in any setting,
Sure.
which is totally fine.
And that was the whole premise, is we're going to take your favorite 5e characters and we're just going to drop them in this setting. They didn't have to skin their characters any certain way to do this.
Right, exactly. I told them they could make anything.
And we did.
If you want to make a mouse character or an elephant or whatever, go ahead and make a Loxodon. It doesn't, it'll fit because it's...
Well, I rolled a tabaxi for you.
Right, exactly. Like it's inspired by. It's not meant to be actual Tokugawa Japan. Correct. So yeah, it's very multicultural in terms of like just the sheer number of species that are around. As we'll see when we get to the next session.
That's what we in the business call a teaser, folks. So if you hold on to your hats.
Yeah. So for that one, I was inspired by the fact that Japan has no fewer than 6 penis festivals. So
I think your mic might be a little bit. I'm sorry. One more time. That was 6 separate annual.
Yep, penis festivals. Some of which have been going on for centuries. Some of which are newer.
Now I know that the moms have run in to grab their kids away from their stereos now, and it's time
for fertility.
I was going to say
to avoid STDs. Or for just safe childbirth, stuff like that. There's a good reason for it.
A sexual and reproductive bazaar and an assembly of people, and it's not a dick joke thing over there. It's a fertility festival.
I mean, there might be some people who go dick joke, but
we're definitely going dick joke.
Yeah, that's why I figured it would be hilarious for this group. They would have a good time with that.
Cockapalooza.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sorry, I told you.
Or
in
it is the festival of the radiant pillar.
See that sounds so proper that I don't even. But the thing is like you can call it the festival of the radiant pillar, and then when you go to the internet and look at it, it's just a big inflatable wing. They're everywhere.
Yeah, it's like the festival food is.
But you have
bananas on a stick and
really? We have phallic
food, phallic prizes. The decorations all are
those would be decorations.
So I kind of took it and ran with it. So
we're bringing that into the world, which once again this is unique because North America doesn't do that. We don't have, but maybe we do, but we don't call it the Festival of the Radiant Pillar.
No, but like the intention behind this was because if I'm going to try to have them avoid, like if we're not going to do the murder hubbo thing, which they've shown thus far that they're not going to.
Which is either a new leaf turned over after 3 decades or a ticking time bomb. But hey, keep rolling the dice.
Not sure. Then, because what's been happening is that, like, just humor. Humor has been the name of the game thus far. That's fantastic. Which is why I picked the Penis Festival, because I figured they would find that funny.
And my thing on this, if you're a GM, what's working? And do a little bit more of it. You do not have to be so above pandering to the group. If you find that the tone at that table when people sit down with those characters in your setting is a light and lively one, make your adventures light and lively and play off of that energy. It would be totally different than, walking them into a children's hospital and being like, all right, this is the setting for the Happy Jolly Japan in Space show.
Yeah. I mean, so I initially had planned this campaign to be more along, especially like the Bakumatsu is a pretty serious time. Like there's political factions and wars going on and threats from the United States and all kinds of stuff. Like it's not a
changing of culture in a very short period of time.
Yeah. So, and like part of the reason I liked that was like I went to Vassar College, and like part of the once some of the politics stuff had settled down, they actually sent envoys all over the world to look at how different countries had set up their educational system, their military, their government, and basically went like, okay, which one has the best one? We're going to pick that, and that's what we're going to put in our country.
Exactly. And so, it was this where they were insulated before. Once that was over, there was no reason not to go and find what was working in the world.
This is why there's actually a photo of a bunch of samurai dressed in samurai clothes standing in front of the pyramids in Cairo. Yeah. Because that was part of that odyssey. So the first Japanese woman to graduate from an American university went to my college, and there was a poster of her because I used to work in the dean of students office as my like work study job, and I sat next to like my desk had a poster of her like literally right there on the wall in front of me. So like that was part of the inspiration. It's like, okay, this is a cool time period.
Very awesome.
So just, you know, a little nostalgic for me.
Very
back
cool.
into that. But so yeah, like anyway, this is not a like silly happy period of time. Like it's rich and fascinating, but there's also a lot of intrigue and war and stuff going on. And like it's a period of Japanese history where there's a whole spate of assassinations happening in Kyoto, and like, I mean, if you've ever heard of Rurouni Kenshin, that's what that's based on. So it's a whole thing. So like, I was planning on there being a lot more like war and intrigue and stuff, and there will be. But
we're
then
kind of kicking off bathroom humor a little bit sometimes,
like,
and what feels good.
What happened with this one was like I had them on an asteroid, and I figured, all right, well, we'll escape the asteroid. And like I was just trying to think of shit that could be in the tunnels in the asteroid that they're going through to escape to get to the spaceport. And so I put magic lichen in there that had wild magic effects.
Very innocuous, very safe choice. How were you rewarded by your table for your safe choice?
This became the thing.
They locked into the glow-in-the-dark lichen?
Oh, yeah. Like, well, part of it was that like I kind of forced them to eat it with Constitution saving throws.
There you go.
Anyone who failed had to eat the lichen because it's magic. It draws you, you know, it calls to you and makes you want to eat it.
It's the siren of lichen. It's the...
Oh, yeah. So like, I initially regretted that. Because of where this started going, but then, you know, honestly, it was hilarious for me too. So, you know, I'm not going to complain. They basically took that and decided that they wanted to start a drug empire, like selling this lichen across the galaxy. So they harvested as much as they could from the inside of the asteroid, and then they stole a shipping crate full of soil and hauled that onto their escape ship. And that's where the not killing people came in, because like I had them basically sneak in through the back door into like the office of the governor of the city, and there were a bunch of guards all over the place. I figured they would try to kill him, but I
makes sense to me.
Introduced all of these guards in kind of humorous situations where like, so one of the players kept eating the lichen, and therefore he was floating and like spinning uncontrollably. And
this is the effect of the lichen that
was
draws you to consume it, is that you will levitate.
You're literally high.
Not a euphoric feeling. You're not touching the ground anymore and spinning.
Yes. So it was in this state that he entered the bathroom where there was one guard who was washing his hands, but another who was in the middle of let's just say dropping some very large children off at the pool.
That just happened on our podcast, people. There were 1,015 different ways to come across with that information, but there you have it, folks.
He'd eaten a particularly spicy curry the night before or something, you know? So, like, that was the situation in which they met these two guards.
I'm feeling more like Spaceballs than Kurosawa at this point.
Yeah. So, like, and I was just kind of going with the vibe of the table.
Sure.
Because, like, I could have had it all get serious, but, like, with the whole planned drug empire from the lichen, like, they were laughing.
Right.
They were having
fun. And they were informing you about how they were having fun with your game.
Yeah. So I adapted it. It's
sure.
Like, all right. Yeah. This is now a bathroom, and there's a dude taking a giant painful shit in there. Like, are they going to kill that dude on the toilet? I mean, they could, but they decided not to.
Way to go. Yeah.
And instead recruited the one who was washing his hands. Was like, oh, here, freebie. Have some lichen.
Oh,
their first future customer.
Are they really out there dope slinging with the first one for free in a galaxy far, far away?
They left lichen in the drawer of the governor, figuring that they would try to get him addicted too, because like it keeps drawing you back in, and you have to make a saving throw to avoid eating it. So,
and at the very worst, they could blackmail them and corrupt them with it too.
Oh yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah. They're taking they as soon as they had that we want a drug empire idea, they're basically viewing everybody as potential customers now.
I think that's the only way that a drug empire works. Yes,
I know, right? So just like, okay, this was not intentional.
I've got to tell you that I was really having reservations about the people that I know and have gamed with for my life, you know, turning this new leaf and leaving murder behind. But we're actually in a political corruption, drug empire running, and witnessing massive painful shits. So they haven't ascended too far. You know what I mean?
No.
So this is great. It sounds like a very fun thing. It's something that I want to keep talking to you about because I think that I believe that it was kind of your first run at a homebrew world in a homebrew setting.
It is, yeah. The other game that I ran was a module. And
I think that you are getting amazing dividends from the effort that you're putting in and having the group at the table. So. It's something that I want to keep talking to you about, but I appreciate you coming on and kind of giving us that look at where did that come from, you know, because you can just randomly pick some words out and be like, all right, shenanigans at Mars and make it a game. But you took those things that were highly influencing you, that you had a breadth of knowledge, not only for as a student, but as a person living in an area, and have kind of amalgamated that into what I think is a rich place to have a 5e campaign, because you can kind of look from everything from Faerun to different places that are, you know, historically played in modules and settings for D&D, and not get anything that brings that combination of that era and that place in time in Japan with Star Wars, with you know the space element, the idea that there you could be in a port of scum and villainy at any point in time, and those sort of machinations. Yeah,
it's like the idea was to make it my Japan in space. I mean, because Star Wars, you know, arguably could be described as Japan in space. Sure. But like very loosely. Like mine's not exactly Japan in space either. It's influenced by.
And
that's where the inspiration
exactly
comes from. But
in Japan,
right.
It's influenced by it. And it's not exactly Star Wars. Definitely not, because we're playing a Star Wars TTRPG that has, in my mind, a completely different feel, a completely different set of possibilities and opportunities for gaming than are found in what you're doing now. So it's very, very cool. I appreciate you taking the time to talk about saving our recording selves on a Sunday and leaving the comfort of the couch in the jammies for a good conversation about gaming and penis festivals. So appreciate you guys listening. Please come out and speak to us. We are on the social medias, and you can leave us comments at the Word Leaf Media YouTube page. We are with you every week at Finding Atoria for more conversations about TTRPGs. Have a fantastic week. And Jess, thanks for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode of Finding Atoria is brought to you by Word Leaf Media. Find us at wordleafmedia.com/Finding Atoria if you or anyone you know has stories or other good things to say about TTRPGs. Get a hold of us. You can find us on all the social medias.
This episode of Finding Atoria is brought to you by Word Leaf Media. Are you interested in sharing stories of your favorite TTRPG experiences? If so, reach out at www.wordleafmedia.com/contact us on our socials, or you can now leave a comment on your favorite Finding Atoria episode at our Word Leaf Media YouTube channel.